Hi everyone, and welcome to this week's UIF Bulletin. I'm Michael Cardo, the DA Shadow Minister of Employment and Labour. Earlier in the week, there were media reports doing the rounds that April and May applications for TERS had closed. Please note that this is not accurate. The UIF has indicated that it will continue to process applications for April and May until a cut-off date has been announced. Furthermore, it will give 14 days notice of what that cut-off date is. So in the meantime, do keep on submitting your applications for April and May. Then just three other points to recap. Firstly, the UIF has dispersed 37 billion rand to 8.3 million workers since the inception of the scheme. Applications for July haven't opened yet, but we're expecting them to open in the course of the next few days. And then don't forget that the TERS benefit scheme has been extended until the 15th of August. I've been approached by a number of employers over the past few days complaining about the bank verification process. Now, according to the UIF, bank verification should take about 24 to 48 hours if it's done electronically. However, if it's done manually, it will take between 7 and 14 days. The key thing to note is that once your bank account details have been verified, you cannot change them. It's only if you've failed the bank verification process that you will be given an opportunity by the UIF to change those details on the online portal. Another thing in connection with bank verification is that some employers have approached me to say that because they don't have a CIPC number, they can't get their bank account details verified. This applies to bodies like sports federations, for example. The UIF is aware of the problem and it is speaking to the banks in order to try and come up with a solution, and we hope to give you a progress report on that in our bulletin next week. Then on to foreign national employees. According to the UIF, some 200,000 foreign national employees haven't received any TERS money yet, and this is because, according to the UIF, with a problem with declarations on the employer's part. So what the UIF has done is that it has involved a company called Interfile to help gather those declarations. It's very important for you to know as an employer that you must have a registered U-filing profile on the www.ufiling.co.za website in order for those declarations to be successfully gathered by both the UIF and this company called Interfile. Then just one final point. The UIF indicated this week that it is putting together a panel of auditors in order to review TERS transactions. So please, whatever you do, don't get rid of any documentation relating to your TERS applications over the last 4 months, because you very well might need it when you come to be audited at the end of the TERS application process. Over to Michael Bagram for further news.
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it, and thank you everyone for listening again to our bulletin. I appreciate that. I'm Michael Bagram, the Labour spokesperson for the Democratic Alliance. I intend to deal with a few things today. Some of the comments made by hundreds of people to me every single day. I get hundreds of people who give me some of the comments, and I thought I'd like to share some of them with you. I'd also like to have a look at the UI19 form, because we're going to be starting to ask our staff to use the UI19 forms and to make applications for the retrenchments. And then finally, I think the real pandemic has hit us, and that is the retrenchments and what has happened with a lot of these retrenchments out there in the marketplace. I then want to end off by a plea to the Minister of Employment and Labour to stop putting a message out there that the monies have come to the employer and they're not then distributing it to the staff. That message is causing problems. So the first one is Candace. Candace says, I was retrenched at the end of April due to operational requirements. I had been registered with TERS and I had received one payment. Now that I've been retrenched, I can't get my retrenchment UIF because of the TERS registration. What do I do? And in fact, I've written to the Ministry on numerous occasions, and there's nothing I can do, and I'm asking the Minister to have a look at that very carefully. She's on the TERS database, needs to be removed from that so she can collect a proper UIF. Laura says, I have nothing left to lose. And that's the most horrific thing for people to tell us, and we're hearing that all the time. I've written to the minister about this particular problem, and I don't get a response. Nicole says, I'm currently unemployed with no source of income and children crying of hunger whilst we sit without electricity. I'm in dire need and would highly appreciate some assistance. Again, I've had no response. I've sent that to the commissioner on 4 occasions. Lona says, we are very disappointed in the UIF system. Not even your letters to Mr. Malaluki get any attention. They ignore us. ... Now, the point is, I have written to Mr. Malaluki about this on many times, and he just does not get back to us. We've had not received feedback from at least 1 out of every 3 of the letters that I'm writing. She then goes on, my staff are sitting in the streets and we supply food to their children. This is a disgrace. We pay UIF every month, and this is the way they treat us. We've paid for over 20 years. Sandra says, we're terribly desperate for the funds since we cannot pay any staff any longer. And Donita says, once again, I'm very sad. What I do want to end off with today is to say to the minister, stop sending the message out that you've paid the employer when you haven't. You are causing trouble. You are causing strikes. I've now had at least 4 strikes because of what the ministry has said, because of what the department is saying. They're saying they've paid money over to the employers when they haven't. The staff get to know about this. They go out on strike. You're putting their jobs at risk. People are getting dismissed because of what you are saying, Mr. Minister. So thank you for listening to me today.